Yes, now, bless now, check 1 2 1 2. Des, King of the Pit TV, signing in live and large. Dudes, today we're going to be listening to the Dead Kennedys record, Fresh Fruit for Rotten Vegetables. I've never really given my time to the Dead Kennedys before. I kind of find them a bit corny from what I've heard. I don't like the idea of surf rock sort of vibes, which tends to be what people reference when they talk about the Dead Kennedys in regards to the riffing. And I don't know, the political element and the vocal performance from what I've heard hasn't been my cup of tea either. I don't really follow the politics first and foremost, so I'm sure a lot of this is going to go over my head. Such as when I was listening to Rage Against the Machine. Just Rage Against the Machine had a few more riffs. But the thing is, I've been in bands and I've written for bands where people have referenced it sounds like the Dead Kennedys, so you know what? There's got to be something in here which sort of validates my tastes. So without further ado, you're listening to Des at King of the Pit TV. Check my music out, search Des Rocksteady, and this is Kill the Poor.
Expectancy and progress is ours once more. Now that we have the neutron bomb, it's nice and quick and clean and gets things done. Away with the sesame.
This was put out in 1980.
But no less valued a property. No sense in war, but perfect sense at home. The sun beams down on a brand new day. No more welfare tax to pay. And something Salem's gonna be flashing a light. Godless millions whisked away. At last we have more room to play. Our systems go and kill the poor tonight. Gotta kill the poor. Kill the poor. Kill the poor tonight.
Sounded like a Noi band there with that little vocal run at the end.
You heard the sparkle of champagne. The crime makes time to free again. A life suffers if you miss it right. Jane Fonda on the screen today.
This is a really good sound for the 1980, right? I was going to say the 80s, but I'm not going to classify 1980 as the 80s purely as it's just on the doorstep of the 80s. It's quite a polished sound, isn't it? And quite a unique original. Well, I don't know if it's unique and original, but you know what I mean? It sounds great for the time.
It's the liberals, it's okay. So let's get vested and so in the night. Oh, kill the poor. Kill the poor. Kill the poor tonight. Kill the poor. Kill the poor. Kill the poor tonight.
I can tell there's going to be a great emphasis of the bass. There's going to be a great emphasis of the bass guitar in this record, or at least in the band, because it is popping out nice, clarity, and there's definitely a lot of tasty runs going on.
The sparkle of champagne. The crime makes time to free again. A life summary if you miss it right.
Really warm overdrive sound. It's proper sizzling on the guitar.
Jane Fonda on the screen today. Convince the liberals it's okay. So let's get vested and so in the night. Oh, well, kill the poor. Kill the poor. Kill the poor tonight. Kill the poor. Kill the poor. Kill the poor tonight. Kill the poor. Kill the poor tonight.
Alright, that was Kill the Poor, quite a catchy little number. It's a horrible melody, but it's one that's gonna stick in my head. Yeah, proper upbeat. Like I said, as far as the verse sections go, on the guitar we had some single note picking for the riffing, and lyrically speaking, I kind of drop out when there's this political referencing, and I know this is going to be like one of the main focal points of the band, but you know, I'm ignorant, man. I just don't get most of it. What we got next is Forward to Death. Okay, you know what, we could possibly put Forward to Death with When You Get Drafted, because they're both relatively short. PokerStar Casinos, people. Go blow a wad. 20-second advertisement on a 1 minute 24-second song, and I wonder who's making the money from it. Probably Cherry Red Records. Never heard of Cherry Red Records before. There's King of the Pit TV signing in live and large. This one's entitled Forward to Death, and we're going to run it into When You Get Drafted. Alright, one love. Here we go. I mean, instrumentally it is a punk tune, but they've got something going on with that guitar, the guitar tone, which gives it that little Dead Kennedys edge. The vocal is kind of goofy, but not in a bad way, in a very unique way as to how you'd be able to sort of pinpoint this band in, you know, a swamp of other punk bands. Do I like it? He could put on a bit more of a tough guy persona for my taste, but what's going on with them guitars there? Is that one guitar doing wow, wow? Is that a bend or a pre-bend? It's not a pre-bend, is it? Bit of an edgy tune. How old were they when they did this? This was out in 1980. They must have been young at this point. Is he a politician at this point? Jello Biafra. We got When You Get Drafted next. Alright. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Ooh. Them backing vocals are nice. Them ad-libs When You Get Drafted. I like that. I really enjoy the instrumental. The instrumental's brilliant. It's just the vocal. I can't get behind the vocal. When you get drafted.
might make you a spy.
Quite spooky.
Demonstrations, hits the days that I'm the way. Just a six-pack and you're happy. We're prepared for when you get drafted, when you get drafted.
Quite a spooky guitar line there. You know what? These past two tunes were better than Kill the Paw. Kill the Paw was a bit too hit or miss for me, but Forward to Death was a nice shin shaker. When You Get Drafted was a nice shin shaker. Good tempo, upbeat. Drummer was nice. Drummer was expressing the right vibrations through them two tunes. And I like the backings on this. When You Get Drafted, it's like the vocals, everything's ramped up apart from the vocals, which toned down, bit wacky. But I don't think they're intentionally wacky. It's just like quite dramatic, quite theatrical of a performance, which I suppose is good as far as the lyricism goes, because you can actually hear what's going on. So, you know, pros and cons. We've got Let's Lynch the Landlord next, after a cheeky little ad. Work's changed, so where do I fit? Yes, right. Des Kennedy signing in. We're listening to Fresh Fruit for Rotten Vegetables from start to finish. I'm still trying to make my mind up with this one. We're getting there though. This one's called Let's Lynch the Landlord. Come on.
The landlord's here to visit. They're blasting disco down below. Says I'm doubling the rent 'cause our building's condemned. You're gonna help me buy City Hall. Oh, we can. You know we can. Oh, we can. You know we can. Let's fix the landlord man. I tell them turn on the water. I tell them turn on the heat. Tell me all you ever do is complain, yeah. Then they switch the place when I'm not here. But we can. You know we can. But we can. You know we can. Let's rinse the landlord. Let's rinse the landlord. Let's rinse the landlord, man.
Really started to hear these what people would consider surf vibes coming in. It's all down to the tone, innit? It's all down to that guitar tone. Or should I say guitar effect, but I don't know what guitar effect it is in particular. Do you want to tell me? I mean, this is just delay, innit? Or echo?
There's rats chewing up the kitchen. Roaches up to my knees. Turn the oven on, it smells like that guy, yeah. Till the rain pours through the ceiling. But we can. You know we can. But we can. You know we can. Let's win the landlord. Let's win the landlord. Let's win the landlord, man. The landlord man.
That was a brilliant riff. Ba-da-da-ba-ba. But it was carried by the bass line, wasn't it? That bass line was really making them few chords hold a brilliant amount of substance. Yeah, that was a good tune. That was a good tune. You know what? I'm starting to like this band, and I'll tell you why. Because it seems as if each one of these songs has a strong melodic value. At least in the chorus sections. They're writing really infectious songs with great upbeat, you know, tempos and a great pulse to the music. We've got Drug Me next, okay, people? Des Kennedy for tonight, signing in. We're listening to the Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Rotten Vegetables from start to finish. My first time listening to the Dead Kennedys properly. I've never chosen to listen to the record before because I was always biased thinking I wouldn't enjoy the band. This one's entitled Drug Me. Let's go. Sounds like saying drag me more than drug me, in my opinion. People are going on about the surf riffs. I think there's more spooky riffs in this band. I'm getting spooked out by some of the riffs I'm hearing. Here we go. The band is really good. They're really good musicians. To say this is a punk act, a very early punk act. Well, you know, punk is not only is punk relative, but I meant to say early is relative. Because, of course, there was earlier than the 80s, but they're really good at what they do as far as structuring the songs, having the transitions. I know this is a bit of studio magic, not live, but to have it on record as tight as it is, and the vocal performance on the really fast bit, even though it felt like it was going to fall apart at any point, there was moments where he was accenting just little bips and bops of the riff, even though he was just peppering off the vocals. And that was really cool. We got Your Emotions next. I'm going to run that into Chemical Warfare, so we'll have 2 in 1 on the next video. Given I get my internet back. One moment, people.
Guaranteed daily
Go.
prices. Plus, there's a share of $1 million.
Yes, now, people, we're back. If you watch me on a regular basis, I bet you really want me to get that YouTube red or whatever it is, which nullifies the ads, but you're going to have to get these views up if you want that. There's King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Fresh Fruit for Rotten Vegetables from start to finish. My first proper listen to the Dead Kennedys ever. We're going to be listening to Your Emotions, and then we're also going to listen to Chemical Warfare within the same time frame, essentially. So let's get straight onto it. Here we go.
Your mama told you this and your dad goes back. Always think that it's and never do that. You learn to be the feels the words and that. Which are really is you're just a copycat. Yeah. The school taught you this and the church taught you that. Memorize this and don't you dare look at that. There are little human sisters who think they're yours. Just as if they're going to the king of the boys. You're so boring, boring, boring. Oh, it's tape machine recording. You're so boring, boring, boring. I've heard all this before.
Heard all this before.
The lad loves the world, smash them anywhere. But she's flashing down the streets everywhere. Frank said the game, my monster just like you. His car's always showing someone talks to you. You're so boring, boring, boring. Always stick machine recording. You're so boring, boring, boring. I've heard all this before. Heard all this before. Heard all this before. Your emotions make you a monster. Your emotions make you a monster. Your emotions.
Put some respect on the dead Kennedys, yeah? Can I have the band members, the names down below in the comment section? I only know Jello Biafra. I don't know who else was in the Kennedys. Chemical Warfare coming up next, but I doubt it's a Slayer cover. Whoa. Whoa. We got a rock and roll sort of vibe going on here. Alright, you know what? First couple of tunes I thought, but right now I'm starting to fall into enjoying this band. There's a great energy throughout the entirety of what I've heard so far, a fantastic tempo. This is what I would call a shin shaking, toe tapping, hip moving, decent punk band. Sounds a bit like that band at Devo at parts. Here we go. Yeah, and I can see where people are referencing that some of the bands I've been in sound a bit Dead Kennedys, because I like jingle jangly, like extended power chords and bar chords and stuff, as opposed to just your standard 2-fret power chords and stuff. That's what I like, especially in higher registers with like more of an overdriven sound and like a heavy distorted sound. So yeah, I can see where people are coming from. Am I out of touch? Are a punk and, hardcore adjacent bands not writing hooks like this nowadays? This is a punk thing, innit? This is what I'm missing out on, not being involved in the actual punk rock scene. Cause I'm missing out on big sing-along choruses, man. I thought this would just be like another bloody, you know what I mean? Just another foundation of punk rock to come, which essentially is like a code word of just like really bland roots music. This sounds like a really mature band. This sounds like punk rock had been going a decade or two before, with how mature this band sounds and how fresh and clean the production value is and how good they are as musicians. This was like when I heard, well, you know what, I was going to say this is like when I heard Bad Brains for the first time, because I thought Bad Brains were like above and beyond as far as craft and musicianship goes. This is better than Bad Brains. This band play better than the Bad Brains, definitely, and they play better. They play better punk rock. They play more consistent than the Bad Brains, what I heard. Bad Brains had a couple of decent tunes, but this has been high octane, fantastic playing, very original, track by track by track. And I'm feeling it. Right, we know this one, California Uber Allies. I swear, wherever I heard this, I think I ever heard this on Tony Hawk's, or this might have been a Guitar Hero tune. One of the two. Okay, one moment, people. Yes, now blessed. Now let's get straight back into it. We're being listed to fresh fruit for rotten vegetables from start to finish. This one in particular, in comparison to the rest, might be a little bit more of a drag, because this is California Uber Allies and I have heard this before. But without further ado, let's see if there's anything I can pick out. It's like the same drum beat that was used in Lost Prophets, Everyday Combat, first track from Liberation Transmission. I used to get excited listening to that tune playing RuneScape, trust me. Let me know down below, was this on the Tony Hawk soundtrack, or was this a Guitar Hero song, or was it both?
I am Governor Jerry Brown. My heart smiles and never frowns. Soon I will be president. God of power will soon go away. I will be Sierra one day. I will command all of you. Your kids are meditating in school. Your kids are meditating in school. California, over Alice. California, over Alice. Over Alice. California.
That layering of the vocals really cool, because to me it just sounds like it's the one vocal, yet it also sounds like there's multiple vocals going on. They've been blended so well. There's them spooky notes again. There's a lot of very spooky melodies. I get scared, man.
Fascists will control you, and the person natural. You will jog for the master race, and always wear the happy face. Close your eyes, can't happen here. They go on while horses near. The hippies won't come back, you say. Mellow out or you will pay. Mellow out or you will pay. California, over Alice. California, over Alice. Over Alice. California, over Alice.
This is a quality mosh section. Classic side to side build up.
When you mess with President
that build-up speed thing, quality, especially because this band sounds like they recorded with a click track, so I don't know how they did that on the record, on the recording, because that's quite complex in the studio, having to speed up the click track. Well, technically might not be too complex for the producer, but as a band. Tasty drum fill there at the end. Good tune. Don't have too much to comment on. Heard it all before. Not a first time reaction. Next we've got the I don't even want to say this one out loud because I don't know who might be listening. Let's move on. I hope everybody's enjoying the ride. I wonder how many views this will get. These hardcore punk acts, even with them being quite notable hardcore punk acts, they don't get the views of the power metal bands and the metal acts. You know what I mean, like large scale ones. So I guess punk's still underground. There's King of the Pit TV signing in. Right, we're listening to track number 9 of 15 on the Fresh Fruit for Rotten Vegetables record. This one's entitled I Kill Children. That's the last time you're going to hear me say that title, because I don't want to get put on a watch list. Let's go.
God told me to skin you alive. I kill children, and if you see them die, I kill children, and make mothers cry. There's a winner in my car, I wanna hear them scream. Be the fucking
Classic 2-chord punk. I don't know how people can pull off 2 chords. Here we go.
So you're in that kid blood, you're in the ghetto real. How about some bad here and so you can chill. Can't hear that school rat, I think I see that tires. I'm in my helping hand from cannibal ride.
Here we go.
Ever wanna die? Of course you have. But I won't do. I get my revenge. I've been run too many ways, but I don't wanna see people anymore. Things I never saw before. Let me see them for the shit they are. Next it is to get away with me. Anyone gonna be king for a day? So I kill children, and let me see them die. I kill children, and make the mamas cry. I kill children, I make the hissing doors. I kill children, gonna wait for yours. 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 Yours.
I don't know if there was any political undercurrent to that one in particular. Wasn't the best song. The riffs were quite unimaginative in comparison to what we've been hearing so far. So that was probably the worst song of the record I've heard so far, in my opinion. We've got Stealing People's Mail next, which I'm actually going to run into Funland at the Beach. We're going to listen to both of them in one. Okie dokie. Des Kennedy signing in. This one's entitled Stealing People's Mail, and then we're going to run it into Funland at the Beach, alright? We're listening to Dead Kennedy's Fresh Fruit for Rotten Vegetables from start to finish, as you know. Let's get into it.
We go to the party. We go to the game. We go to the disco. Ain't gonna cruise out, man. Stealing people's mail. Stealing people's mail.
I don't think there's been one bit of feedback throughout the entire record.
Stealing people's mail. Stealing people's mail. Stealing people's mail on a Friday night. Driving in the mountains. Run around. Run just through your mailboxes. Take your mail back to town. And we got that thing when it gets tax returns. Checks about
That was brilliant. What was that? That wasn't guitar picking, was it? That's got to be a keyboard, right?
People say the word crazy.
That's got to be a synth. That's not a guitar, is it? The guitar is just that shredding.
It's taking all alone. But when we reach our letters, roll on the floor. And we got money when it gets tough to turn. Take politics from its they turn. Money, bills, and cash checks. We got relationships with your friends. And I steal your mail on a Friday night. We're gonna steal your mail by midnight. We better not get caught. We'll be dumped in institutions. We'll be drunk and shot. Still got my funds and Christians. Still under our spell. Still under our spell. Still under our spell. Still under our spell. On a Friday night, every night.
Funland at the beach. In uno momento. Vikesh Malik. Let's go. Funland at the beach. That sounded like a Rudimentary P-Night. If you heard that band, yo, if you're into this band and you haven't heard this band, check out Rudimentary P-Night, please. Man, I've drunken so much water and fruity flavoured juice. I feel so sick right now. That was Funland at the beach and stealing people's mail. Yo, there's been better songs. They weren't the strongest. They weren't the strongest. Next we got Ill in the Head, people. Let's go. Desmond Rocksteady, aka Des Kennedy, signing in. We're listening to the Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables, which is an incredible mouthful. Yeah, from start to finish. This one's entitled Ill in the Head. quite an inventive guitar bit, but I'm not too fond of the like dissonant, chromatic wizardry going on. Dare I call this another spooky riff? You let me know. I wonder what happened in the writing process for him to come up with this song, because instrumentally it's so much more different than the others. I mean, they really have tried to push the ball out a lot with that just bizarre outside of the box playing. I mean, it really does constitute most of the song, and that's like just so detached from what we've heard so far. It feels like they've really done it with reason. Right, we got Viva Las Vegas next. I'm going to skip Holiday in Cambodia because why the hell not? It's my channel, I can do what I want, people. I've heard Holiday in Cambodia before and I don't want to spend 4 minutes 35 seconds when I can spend that time listening to some new music. Alright, we got Van Halen to be listening to right now. So this one's Viva Las Vegas. We're going to finish it off.
Play slot station or casino games in the Kasumaverse.
I wouldn't recommend it. The bloody Kasumo-verse, mate. Yes, Des, King of the Pit, Des Kennedy, last track, Viva Las Vegas. You might be wondering, Holiday in Cambodia, why didn't you do that one? Well, I got other songs to be covering right now, and I've heard Holiday in Cambodia before, so I'd rather use the time to pay attention to a real first-time listen. So, sorry if that offends you. I just it's not first-time reaction, don't matter, does it? This one's Viva Las Vegas. Here we go. Skanker. Was this Elvis Presley initially? Shall we see if Elvis is in the credits here? Composer Doc Pomus. Well, Elvis didn't write the song, did he? So I suppose. Composer Doc Pomus. Composer Mort Schumann. Are they members of Dead Kennedys?
There's 1,000 pretty women waiting out there. They're all waiting, the devil may care. And I'm just a devil with one to spare. So Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Viva Las Vegas. How I wish that there were more than the 24.
What does that bass line remind me of? Do 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 do. Girls, and all I really want is girls. You know the one. Beastie Boys.
Hours in the day. Even if I ran out of speed, boy, I wouldn't sleep a minute of the way. Oh, the blackjack and poker and the roulette wheel. A fortune money lost out of every deal. All you need is sonar and the nerves of steel. it once, you'll never be the same again.
Here we go.
Keep on running, gonna have me some money. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke.
Was Girls by Beastie Boys, did they steal the Viva Las Vegas bass line?
And I'll always remember that I had a swinging time. Oh, I'm gonna give it
Or sample it perhaps?
everything I got. Lady looks with me, I stay hot. Got coke up my nose to dry away the snot. So Viva Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas, Viva, Viva Las Vegas.
He does a brilliant job doing the vocal. That was a great cover. Little tremolo to finish it off. Yeah, that was Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. Right, I'm signing out. People, I'm going to do another little video on what I considered the highlights of this record and the lowlights, and we'll have a proper talk about it.